Well, hello and welcome. I'm Jeannette Koczela, founder and president of the International Association of Professional Life Coaches. And today, our master class is going to be with my guest, James I. Bond, who is also my business partner. And just a little bit about Jim. I call him Jim. It's hard to call somebody James Bond.
I think my parents had a sense of humor. I don't know what to say.
Yes, but Jim is one of the leading behavioral management specialists, and he is the author of the best-selling book Brain Glue, which just came out this year. And it's about how selling can become much easier by making your ideas sticky. And he also did a TED Talk on that, which was very helpful for people. And so he had been running Southern California's behavioral management firm, and he worked with a lot of who's in American business. And when he retired from that business, he decided he wanted to help coaches and share his knowledge and expertise about business and behavioral management with coaches. So that's why we have him here today, because he's going to give us a presentation about behavioral management tools and some things that you can use right after this masterclass in your marketing. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim, and he has a nice slide presentation for you.
Hi, everyone. I think you're going to find this really valuable. This is, let me get this going here so I can show you. So I'm going to show you something that I think you're going to find really valuable that coaches across the country find really, really valuable. This is stop targeting the wrong audience. Learn a simple way to attract more prospects who are ready to buy now. People don't realize, it's amazing how many people don't realize how many prospects um, are how an ideal prospect is different from everyone else. Well, here's, as Jeanette just talked about, I'm James I. Bond, founder of one of America's leading behavioral management firms. And there are tools that I have that I want to share with you right now that I think are going to be really valuable. And then Jeanette, who's founder of the International Association of Professional Life Coaches and coach to many of America's leading coaches. In marketing, we focus on four areas. Okay, we focus on who, what, how, now, and we do it this way. Who are we targeting, and how is a real buyer or a real prospect who's ready to hire us as a coach? How is that person different from everybody else? And I'm going to show you something that I think is going to really help you guys understand how a real buyer is different from every other type of prospect that you're targeting. Next is, what do you want to say to them that makes them want to hire you as a coach? How are you going to reach them with that message? And now, how do you get them to buy now or hire you now instead of procrastinating? Oh, that's really a good idea. Let me think about it. You ever have anybody say that? I've had lots, and my coaches have had also. So, what I'm about to show you is a huge hole in your marketing that's costing you clients and income, and you don't even realize it. Okay, for starters, are you targeting the wrong prospect and you don't even realize it? So small changes can have a huge dollar impact and income impact for you. Okay, and so here's one person that the team that we work with developed, and I want to show you how little changes can have a dramatic impact. So this prospect, this coach, was getting 2 appointments a month times 12 months is 24 appointments a year. They were closing about 25%, or so 6 clients they were getting a year. They were charging $800 a month. You know, I don't know if that's more or less than what you would charge, but that's what they were charging. And times 6 clients times 12 months is $57,000. That's what they were making a year. After the team that we work with and the process that I'm going to show you did this, okay? They started getting 4 appointments a month because they were focusing on media and the message. And it was very specific media and message that they were focusing on without spending a fortune, by the way. Okay. This is for coaches, and a lot of coaches don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing. Okay. But they were able, with the changes I'm going to show you, they were able to go to 4 appointments times a month times 12 months. So it's 48 appointments a year. And they were closing 50%, had a 50% closing rate because they were targeting somebody very specific because they had a better job of that they were targeting. They went to half the people that they were presenting to became clients, and they got 24 clients. And our team got them to raise their price to $1,200, and times 24 clients times 12 months, that's $345,000 because of the strategy we came up with. It's amazing. For the record, that's a $288,000 difference in their income. Okay. That's one. And focusing on strategy, targeting, media, and message. Who, what, how, now. Who are they targeting? What do they want to say to them that makes them want to buy right now? How are you going to reach them with that message? And now, how do you get them to buy now? Okay. Here's a child psychologist that the team work with doing the same thing. And with this process, they were able to take them from 36 to 228 clients a year. Now, you may probably don't want 228 clients a year. That's fine. But still, what I'm going to show you makes it much easier. Here's a construction company. So it actually works with clients. It doesn't just work with us, okay, as coaches. But here's a client, a coaching company who after 10 years, there were 3 partners and they had $2 million of sales. In 1 year, we were able to take them to 10 million. That's 5 times their size. They went from 2 to 10 million in sales in 1 year and reached 32 million 2 years later. So that's how powerful this is. So here are the 6 ultimate steps to growth that I think you'll find fascinating because it shows you a process. Now, you may not be expert or successful in all of these 6 things, these 6 tools, but understanding them can be tremendously valuable for you. So the first one is defining who you're targeting very specifically. I'm going to take you through this. Second, and how they're different from everybody else. The second is strategy of preeminence. Boy, doesn't that sound great? It's why should somebody buy from you or hire you instead of anybody else or doing it themselves? Next is conversion management. Whatever tools you're going to use, if it's a website or an email or whatever else it is, you want to make sure it converts people. For all the work you do, you've defined somebody specific, you've identified and communicated to them why they should hire you instead of somebody else. Now you want to make sure that you're converting them so that then you go on to the next piece, which is traffic generation. If you're going to send emails, if you're going to do marketing at all, you want to make sure that that traffic is converting. A lot of people don't do the first 3, and then they say, can you help me get more clients or get more people calling us or contacting us? And they struggle more than they need to because they don't have good conversion management. But traffic generation is the next, whatever tool you're going to use. Drip campaign, which is like emails. Not everybody you interact with is going to buy right now. The good news is there are tools like ChatGPT that make it much easier to create all these emails. So you just tell them how, what you want specifically, and they can fine tune it for you. You don't have to use ChatGPT, but a lot of people hate having to write like 10 emails that are standard emails that describe their business, and ChatGPT can help you. And then there's JV alliances, joint venture alliances, where there are other people out there who actually are working with or know or interact with your prospects or ideal clients. And it would be great if you could work with them so that they can start feeding you clients as well. And the result of all of this can be tremendous growth, as you saw with the 3 different types of people: an individual, and making not much money and wanting to make a lot more money, to people making a ton of money. Okay, so let's start with the first piece, which is defining who you're targeting and how a real buyer is different from everyone else. So step 1, being clever is less important than talking to the right person. Do you know the difference between a real buyer and everyone else? Let me give you an example, my own personal example, okay? Caregiver, my mom, she just passed away 2 years ago, but I took care of her. Her husband had passed away, her second husband, and caregivers thought I'd be an ideal client for caregivers. But the bottom line is, my mom was independent. She drove herself, in a car. She was involved with lots of organizations and stuff like that, and she didn't need a caregiver. And so, even though caregivers were marketing to me, they didn't have success because I could care less about caregivers. My mom was independent. Then my mom had a stroke, and suddenly I became a hot prospect for caregivers because I wanted to know, does our insurance cover it? How much does it cost to have a caregiver? Um, are caregivers for people with stroke different than other caregivers? I mean, I had a short period of time that I was a hot prospect and ready for a caregiver. And that made me understand the power of understanding the moment when somebody is a hot prospect and how that person is different from everybody else. I was suddenly actively looking for help. So eventually I was working with and found a really good caregiver for my mom. Eventually I was working with a caregiving company and we went through the same process. I said, let's target people who have a mom or dad who had a stroke recently and just focus on them. And we came up with a pitch. Did your mom or dad have a stroke recently? Do you realize that caregivers for stroke victims are different than other caregivers? And then we sort of went on through that and created this message that became so powerful that their sales exploded so much that she was having trouble. The owner of the company, she was awesome. She was having trouble getting enough caregivers to handle all the sudden clients that she had, which is really good. So I helped her with that, and we, and she works with some of the big universities here that train coaches. And then she set up a coaching program for stroke victims so that her coaches were actually specialists in stroke victims. But the point is, we understood, we recognized that ideal prospect for caregivers had something specific happen. So for everyone who just experienced that pivotal moment where they had a mom or dad who had a caregiver who had a stroke, we were a valuable solution. And the same applies to you. Okay, I mean, think about this. Your most valuable prospect just hit a crucial moment. Something happened to them in their life. Because if you're talking to somebody and something didn't happen to them, they'll procrastinate, but they won't be ready to buy right now. So, what is that specific event that turns your prospect into needing your help now? So, did a recent upset stomach make you worry that your health isn't as great as you thought? Excuse me. How about this? Did someone in your family ask you why you're not making more money as a coach? Okay. How about that one? Somebody might be interested in coaching business, but it's not working out, and then suddenly something happens, and it makes you go, you know what? I need help. I want to do something. How about this? Have you had a fight recently with a spouse or a partner that made you fear your relationship might be in trouble? It's a moment, okay? So how is your real buyer different from everybody else? Do you know? By pinpointing the exact moment, it changes everything. So what's a moment they experienced recently that made them realize they definitely need someone like you? That's what you want to focus on, okay? That's really important because that helps you build a message that's going to make them go, well, yeah. I mean, you want to imagine yourself in a room with 100 people. You want to say, hey, has this happened to any of you recently? Raise your hand if this happened to you recently, and then explain that. Because you realize you may have a room with 100 people that seem like ideal prospects, but only a few of those people are actually ready to buy now. And don't you want to identify those people and separate them from everybody else? Here's one of the coaches that we work with, and she's just having a great time. And we helped her. She got this awesome image from AI, artificial intelligence, and we work with her on that. So it was really great. And her program is called Now Riding the Tiger for Women. and it's ridingthetigerforwomen.com. It's revitalizing your life post-menopause. And she focuses on postmenopausal women. And so let me take you through how some of this works. So the initial question to a postmenopausal woman is, well, have you had a menopause? Have you gone through menopause recently or a while back? And then the most important question is, have you noticed any changes in your life since you've gone through menopause? And then we have her going through this, which makes life easier. Well, there are three concerns that a lot of women have who've gone through menopause. The first one is physically, sex doesn't work as well. I don't want to get too much into that, but your body dries up and then sex doesn't work as well. And many women find that who are postmenopausal. Or number two is self-confidence is diminished. You look in the mirror and you just don't have confidence anymore. You're thinking, wow, I mean, look at how much I've changed. I'm just not confident. And third is you worry that relationships may suffer, existing relationships or your ability to develop relationships with other people. And so then if that's the case, you can take a look at famous people like Diane Keaton and Jane Goodall, the chimpanzee woman. Okay, she lived her life with chimpanzees, and these women have emotional power that many women who are postmenopausal don't have. And these women are self-confident. They don't need plastic surgery. They have good relationships. They're happy and they're healthy emotionally. So somebody who's ready to buy now, what's their exact moment that they're ready to buy? Do you have an argument with your spouse recently that is now generating fear that you may be heading for a breakup? This is her prospect. She has two core prospects that we work with and develop this. Okay, so it helps if you can bounce the ideas off somebody too. But so the two prospects she's focusing on is somebody who has a relationship now, but they're worried that the relationship will be hurt because now they've gone through a postmenopause, they've gone through menopause. And so did you have an argument with your spouse recently that's now generating fear that you may be headed for a breakup? Or are you on your own? Are you independent? And suddenly you realize that you don't have enough self-confidence in your life. You see how we're focusing on, have you been looking in the mirror recently and just kind of got worried that you don't have as much self-confidence as you had when you were younger? There are a lot of people that have that. There are a lot of people that don't have that. If they don't have that experience, they're probably not a good prospect. There has to be something, a trigger that went off in a person's mind and heart. So they realize, wow, I wish I could find a way to solve this because, yeah, this is hurting my life. Okay. So for you specifically, do you recognize the exact moment when your prospect is suddenly desiring help? The more you can understand those moments, do some brainstorming and brainstorm with somebody that'll help you. We can help you too, by the way, with the brainstorming on this for free. But once you understand this, it makes your marketing and how you're going to win clients much easier because now you're relating to a moment that has triggered them so they want someone to help them. So that leads us to these questions. What specific problem do you solve? What specific problem do you solve for that person? What alternatives exist to your solution? And why should someone choose yours, work with you instead of something else? Okay, so there are 6 steps to ultimate growth. Okay, and here's how the steps work. The first one, which I was just defining with you, is defining who you're targeting specifically and how they're different from everybody else. Number 2 is defining your strategy of preeminence. Boy, that sounds really great. What is that? It means, why should someone hire you or buy from you instead of somebody else? What makes you different? Okay, so and the next one is conversion management, traffic generation, drip campaign, and JV alliances. But right now, I'll focus on the second one, which is strategy of preeminence. So what's a strategy of preeminence? It's basically a leverageable differentiator to minimize price competition and provide a competitive advantage. That sounds really hooky. I don't know what the word is, but too complicated. So let me make it simple. Why should someone work with you rather than the alternatives? And that's once you've identified somebody, you need to tell them, well, wow, if you have this issue or this problem, you know, this might help us, something that I'm an expert in or I'm a specialist in. Okay. So can you say one of these two lines? I'm the only one that dot dot dot. Okay. How would you feel this? Or I'm one of the few that dot dot dot. Can you say that? I'm one of the few coaches who actually da 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 da. Okay. These are critical lines that you want to be able to answer, even if you're not going to say it exactly this way. But it's really powerful for you to say, I'm one of the few that, or I'm the only one that. So you start, when you're going through this, you want to start with your marketing by creating an avatar or persona, which is basically putting a face to your ideal prospect. So you can put it on the wall next to your computer or in your room or wherever you are, and it reminds you who you're targeting. So you probably know Victoria's Secret, okay? Those stores. So Les Wexner bought Victoria's Secret, and he used Sybil Shepherd from Moonlighting and with Bruce Willis. Okay, there's Sybil Shepherd on the right there, and she was in a TV show Moonlighting, and she was in a bunch of movies and stuff, and she was really well known. He didn't hire her. He didn't pay any money to hire her, but he got a picture of her and he put it on the wall in there behind the scenes or behind the wall of their main office. And whenever somebody would come to him and say, um, here's new underwear or whatever they offer. Here's a new clothing that we think would be awesome for Victoria's Secret. He would point to the picture of Sybil Shepherd and say, would she wear it? If the answer was, well, I'm not sure, it might be a little too sexy, and she likes stuff like that, but I don't think she'd like this one, then the answer would be, well, then we're not interested in it. And by focusing on her and targeting her as a target woman that they were going after, it made it easier for them to create ads and to develop their products and services to help them become massively successful. And lots of companies have this, an avatar. Here's Best Buy. Best Buy has one, two, three, four, five, six, seven avatars, okay? Because it depends on where their store is going to be located. Best Buy, like my mom, she was an empty nester. She had kids who were over 18 years old. She was anxious to discover life defined by herself and not her kids, okay? She was involved in all these independent things, and she wanted the simple, fast ways to stay connected with her family. That's why she was very interested in phones if they were easy, but they can connect her with her family, for example. Whereas in a high-end part of Southern California where we live, there's a place with lots of office buildings, and they have young people working there, lawyers and accountants and stuff like that. And so that one, they have a store, and it's focusing on techno savvy males, roughly between the ages of 8 and 35. They need to hear it, see it, and play it, and they want the latest and greatest technology. And so for the store near my mom, if she bought something, like she bought a TV, she wanted something, a table that could hold the TV, and maybe somebody to install it for them. So they would deliver the TV to her home with the table, and they would set up the table so that it was on the TV. Whereas with this one on the right here, they would be young guys who wanted the tech. They wanted the coolest phone so they could show off to their friends. And so they would have tech people who would explain, here's a new product, here's a new technology or whatever else it is, and in their store. Anyway, the point is, you want to create an avatar or an image of somebody who's your ideal prospect, so that when you're writing ads, writing emails and things like that, it's almost as if you're writing to that person, and it makes it a lot easier. Once you target somebody, you identify who it is. You want to be clear on these answering these questions. Who are they? What do they want? What are some of the things they want besides your product or service? Okay, or a coaching business. Where are they? What media do they use? What are some of the buying habits they have? Like, what are some of the other things they buy? Why should they buy yours or hire you as a coach? How do they buy? Do they have enough money to buy? Is it credit card, cash? Well, probably not cash. And then it comes back to this core issue is when do they buy? What happened to that person that they suddenly are a hotter prospect for you to become one of your clients? Now, I always like focusing on this. So remember, when you chase two rabbits, both escape, meaning if you can start with one type of prospect. You may say, well, I serve this person, this person, this person, this type of person, 4 different types of people. I got that. But let's start by focusing on one specifically. When you focus on one specifically, then you can start expanding. I have somebody who's coaching me with a program I'm working on, and he said, think of Amazon. When Amazon started, they only focused on books. Okay, and that's all they focused on. Even though in his mind he had this idea that we're going to sell all kinds of stuff, but he only focused on books and became successful with that. Once he became successful with books, then he started selling internet-based tech products. And then once he was successful with that, then he expanded and started selling all kinds of products, excuse me. But so for you, it's the same thing. There might be 3 or 4 types of target prospects that you want to go after, but pick one first. When you choose two rabbits, both escape. Does that make sense? So of the 6 steps to ultimate growth, we go through defining who you're targeting specifically and how they're different from everyone else, creating a strategy of preeminence or a reason why someone should work with you instead of anybody else. I'm the only one that, or I'm one of the few that, ... Finish that sentence, at least start there. Then you want to do conversion management, where that message goes inside your emails, your website, your web page if you have one, your LinkedIn page should have that. I know a bunch of coaches that don't even have a website. They have a LinkedIn page, and all their clients, they send them to their LinkedIn page. But what's traffic generation? Like, how are you going to reach out to people? I love saying this, that you don't want cash, you want cash flow. I mean, we want cash. So I have $10 million, you'll probably say yes. Okay. But in general, you want a flow of clients, and you want to do it so that the process is set up so it's happening on a regular basis. For most of us coaches, most coaches hate selling. I mean, or dislike selling to a degree. That's one of the things that we focus on, is we make it simple so you can actually love selling, where it becomes more of a coaching process. You coach a person, and selling becomes easier. But then there's the drip campaign, where you're particularly working with emails for people who are kind of interested, but they're not quite ready yet, and you're at least maintaining a relationship with them. There are free or low-cost ways to do this. And then joint venture alliances, where you're identifying people who can actually feed or send clients to you or good prospects to you, and working out a relationship like that. So getting there, what I was just showing you, those 6 steps, has a common problem that a lot of coaches have difficulty with. And it's most coaches are missing one or more of these critical steps. Now, why is this tough for so many of us? Okay. And I've worked with tons of coaches, and so has Jeannette. Okay. So we understand this, and we have a simple way to simplify this. Okay. But so why is this tough for so many coaches? There are 2 basic reasons. The first one is, for most coaches, you're alone in your business. So you don't get to bounce ideas off someone. If you look at famous people like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs started Apple Computer with Steve Wozniak. He didn't start it on his own. And Steve Wozniak, even though he was a tech guy, he couldn't create it, So if you look at a lot of successful businesses, they have somebody that they can bounce their ideas off and work together with, okay? But for most of us coaches, you're alone in your business, and that makes it tough to accomplish all the steps. And the second thing, which is profound, I'm one of America's leading behavioral management specialists, and I know this really well because we help people overcome this. But certain steps are outside your comfort zone. And because they're outside your comfort zone, you might put it on a list, but you won't get the thing done or won't get it done as fast or as well as you hoped because it's outside your comfort zone. Well, the good news is there is a simple solution to this. And this is what it is. And we want to share this with you. It's called tasking. Okay. And so think about this for a second. Okay. You ever notice how a personal trainer can get athletes to do more push-ups than they can ever do on their own? Okay. Most famous athletes have coaches. I mean, virtually every famous athlete has coaches. But if you had a coach and the coach had you doing push-ups, they said, we're going to get you doing 20 push-ups. And you go, well, I don't know if I can do 20 push-ups. So I'll be here with you. Come on. 5, 6. Come on, you can do more. 7. Yes, yes, yes. 8, 9. A personal trainer can get you to do more push-ups than you can do on your own. Maybe just 2 more push-ups. But whatever it is, a personal trainer can get you to do more push-ups than you can do on your own. Well, this also works with coaches. And this is something that you could do. It works with you. And this is something you could apply to your clients to get them to achieve more goals and bigger goals than they can achieve on their own. So you and your clients can reach bigger goals easier than you ever thought possible if someone was there to help you and to just nudge you along and to help you understand what needs to be done still and helps you getting it done. Now, tasking unlocks your ability to bring in the clients you want and to build the income you want, but to build it the way you want it. Because there are some things you probably hate doing. There's some things you're not excited about doing. There's some things you love doing. One of the things that we do is we show you this tasking process. We actually love to show you this if you're willing. We do it on you, but we'll show you how to do it with your clients where you're able to uncover stuff that they don't normally share with other people and set up a process that helps them get this thing done. It's really quite amazing. So you personally can focus on all these 6 areas, these 6 ultimate growth steps, which these things, okay, all the different areas I took you through just now. So we love to show you how you're able to do tasking with your client by taking you through tasking yourself. Okay? It's absolutely free. And I believe you will want to do this for yourself and for your clients. Once you understand how we do this, it's amazing how much easier suddenly selling becomes. Because one of the things that we discover is a lot of coaches hate selling or dislike selling. But when you set up the process so it's actually a coaching process instead of a selling process where you're actually helping them figure something out, they suddenly become more hooked to you and it becomes more likely that they will want to buy from you, okay, or work with you as a coach. Now, I think you'll find this fascinating and valuable. We have so many coaches that have gone through this and they go like, whoa, this is really cool. Now, some of them work with us and some of them don't, but they just go through the first process, the first call that we have. I want you to understand this. Now, remember, a simple change, which is what we want to show you. There's no cost at all, but a simple change can make a dramatic difference in your life. Okay? A simple change, that's all it takes. Because we're going to show you how to do something outside your comfort zone where you go, oh, wow, this is much easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, we promise it's absolutely free. Okay? Now, we'll talk about our program too. So we'll give you a little bit of that. But we're looking forward to showing you how this can work for you. So there's a link, and I guess Jeanette's going to talk about where the link is. But click the link if you'd like to see how this simplifies the way you can grow your business. I think you're going to love this, okay? And we'll show you exactly with you how we do this, how you can do this, and how you can identify simple questions that will make your prospect go, okay, and make them much more likely that they're ready to buy from you right now. I think you're going to love this. I mean, I've been doing this for I have to figure it out. We ran one of America's leading behavioral management firm for 13 years. So it's more than 13 years, but I've been doing it for 10 years now. So 23 years. Well, lucky 23, I guess. But for 23 years, we've been doing this, and it's blown the minds. Coaches love this, and we think you're going to love at least this experience. So is that okay, Jeannette?
Yes.
So
So
does anybody have questions?
I just put the link in the chat to set up a
Okay.
call with us. And as Jim said, it's there's no charge for this. What we're going to do is take you through our tasking process um, and help you identify some things that you want to do with your business. And we'll show you how to achieve those things. So, um,
Yeah, a simple way that's because it uses behavioral management. And what it does is you go through this and you go, oh, okay, interesting. And it's personal and business. So when you're working with your clients, this is what you end up doing is you identify personal and business areas and you get them achieving personal. I have this client, not only did he go through tremendous growth, but I got him putting pictures of his kids on the wall and his wife, so he can remind himself what was the stuff that makes him really happy. We have this guy who was the, he's a coach for business owners, and we found this out. Jeannette and I, we kind of we laughed privately, but he was very serious, and he had and all this stuff, and he was a bank president in a past life of his, and he wanted to play piano and sing at a club near his home. We never would have thought of that, but it's just, I think you guys are gonna really love how the process works. We'll show you exactly how the process works. We'll do it on you, but we'll show you how the process works and how you're able to, in a very simple way, accelerate the growth that your client, the results that your clients have, just like you can accelerate the growth and results that you guys have too. I think you're gonna love this, and it's absolutely
okay,
free. I mean, again, we'll show you our program, so hopefully you like that too. But even if you don't, no problem. I think you're going to love this call.
great. And Therese has a question. Is this for coaching business only or any business?
Any
And
business.
actually, this technique can be used for any business. We're focusing on coaches because we're doing what we tell you to do, which is to find that particular avatar. But yes, this is a process that Jim has used for all different types of businesses. And so if you have if you have any other businesses besides coaching, it'll help that too.
And it works with individuals too. So this is a one-on-one thing, but you can have groups. That's so you can either put it together as a group that you're going to put them through this process, usually up to about 10 people in a group, or individuals. And it's if you work one-on-one with people, or if you work with groups, if you work face-to-face with people live, or if you're going to do it online in a Zoom call. It works all ways. That's why coaches are amazed by this because, you know, you don't just want to go through something that's going to help you grow your business, but you want to also simplify your ability to get bigger results from your clients. And as you go through it, you go like, wow, this is cool. And it gets you stepping outside your comfort zone in a nice way. And your clients do the same. And it gets you
So
establishing a better relationship with your client, even if you have a good relationship up front. So, yeah.
great. So thank you everyone for attending. I hope this was helpful for you. Do any of you feel like you know that exact moment that we were asking you about for your business? And of course, if you don't, we can help you with that on this call also. I'll put this link in again for you since we just had someone else come in. And we look forward to showing you this process and seeing how it can work for you. So if there's no other questions, that's our masterclass for today.
And thank you all for attending. It's fun. I saw a guy that had a t-shirt that said life sucks and then you die. And I'm like, no, life has to be wonderful. And so that's why we think you're going to have fun with this. And then you're going to realize, wow, this actually might be fun to work with my clients on it too. We can actually show you how to do that. So enjoy. Thank you
Okay.
everyone for showing up.
Bye now.